Welcome to the Lowland League Catchup. It's myself, Chris, and today I'm joined by Derek. How are you doing, Derek?
I'm really good, mate. How's you?
Yeah, good. It's been a wee bit colder at the football the last few weeks with coming into the winter now, obviously. We did mention on Twitter, but just in case you missed it, we're obviously coming into the busy period, Christmas and whatnot. So episodes might be a wee bit more sporadic, but we'll try our best to have episodes out for you. But we'll start with Friday's fixture, Spartans versus Bonnyrigg Rose at Ainsley Park. I think the feeling was that Rose were going to be the favourites going into this one. Spartans did open the scoring in 8 minutes. Dean Hoskins, former Bonnyrigg player, scored with an outstanding free kick. It didn't take Rose very long to get back into it. 13 minutes, 5 minutes later, Johnny Brown with a low strike to make it 1-1. On the half-hour mark, Spartans did regain the lead. Cracking piece of play by Blair Atkinson, a sublime finish from Aaron Murrell, who shoots low across the keeper into the Rose net. Right up until the 88th minute, corner is whipped in by Rose, and Ewan Moyes heads into the corner for the equaliser, and unbelievably, right at the death, last kick of the ball, 94th minute, Johnny Brown again puts it off the inside of the post to make it Bonnyrigg 3-2. What a game. What a win for Bonnyrigg Rose, but an absolute sickener for Spartans.
Yeah, Spartans grabbing defeat for the Joseph victory, as you could say, but Rose have just done it again, haven't they? They just keep fighting to the last. They've got a cracking result again. It's another one that you feel they need to have if they're going to go and challenge to win the title, and have done the business, ultimately. They've not made it easy for themselves. It's interesting that it was a couple of their old boys that have scored against them as well. That's just a little side note, but it must be really frustrating for Spartans just now, because Ainsley Park isn't the fortress it used to be for them, and they would never have conceded 2 goals in the last 5 minutes last season. I just couldn't have seen that happening. So I kind of went the way we thought it would in the end, but Spartans gave more than a run kind of for their money in it, and they'll be gutted they've not come away with anything there.
Yeah, it's a good point actually. Rose kind of applying the old Shire tactic of playing their former teams, and Aaron Murrell scoring against them. You know, these sort of games when you're losing right at the death, the way that they done it, it's going to deflate the momentum a wee bit, because they did obviously pick up the home win against Berwick last week, but for Bonnyrigg, we've often mentioned, particularly ourselves, about Spartans, how they used to, when they won the title, they sort of grinded out these results. It looks like Bonnyrigg are doing the same this season.
Yeah, very much so. It's not always easy and it's not always pretty, but that's a marquee team that's going to challenge. That even when they're not at their best, they're going to go and get the 3 points by hook or by crook. So you've got to give them props.
Did get some stick from Lewis Swanson that didn't put Johnny Brown in the team of the month, but we'll move on to BSC Glasgow versus Civil Service Strollers at the end of the drill. Do you want to take us through this one, Derek?
This is one that when we spoke about it, we'd kind of earmarked as probably a tester for BSC after great kind of recent form, but it didn't really turn out that way. 4-1 in the end for BSC. It started off with 6 minutes on the clock. And it was a penalty. Declan Hughes stepped up to take it. It was saved well by Donaldson, but then Robbie McNabb, following in, tucked home the rebound. And on 11 minutes, it was a second penalty. This time it was Thomas Collins getting brought down by Andy Mayer. 2 strollers got booked in the kind of preceding debate with the referee, shall we say. And there was no mistake, because Declan Hughes learnt for his first one, stuck it the other side of the keeper, and it was 2-0 in a blink of an eye, basically. It was kind of going that way towards half-time, but then on 39 minutes, 5 minutes before half-time, Jamie Hamilton was taken out to playing a long ball through over the top. He'd managed to get the ball off just before he got taken out. Tamor raced onto it, and 1-on-1 with Donaldson nutmegged him to make it 3-0. So at that point, you'd kind of thought it was game over. And Strollers didn't really play that way in the second half. They came out 53 on the clock. Andy Mayer breaking through under pressure from man of the match Michael Anderson, slotting past Ryan Marshall to make it 3-1 and make things a little bit more interesting. But BSC killed it in the hour mark. Declan Hughes, who just had a great game, squaring a low free kick to Thomas Collins, and Tam smashed the ball past Donaldson first time with a low strike. So that was how it ended, 4-1. BSC very much making the most of the chances they got, and it's a cracking run Swifty's got the boys on. You've got to include BSC in the conversation as well. They're a wee bit further back, but with the form they're in just now, you can't bet against them.
No, absolutely not, mate. Yeah, I think it's interesting. It was a game that, yeah, as you said, I thought was going to be a test for BSC, but they've dominated early on, and obviously, as you mentioned, between them, Kelty and Bonnyrigg Rose, they've got to be considered the three, really.
You think so? As things stand, anyway. Side note for Strollers, it's good to see John Dunn back. He obviously was ex-Strollers a wee while back. He was the last man standing in Edinburgh City's promotion team for the Lowland, and he's basically left City to go back to Strollers, back to his original home, and straight into the team. So it's good to have him back in the league. He's a cracking professional, and again, it's another guy that Gary Jarn's brought in that knows what it takes to compete here and to do the business. So it's on the face a cracking signing for them.
Well, moving on to Kelty Hearts versus Edinburgh Uni at New Central Park. It was a bad start for Kelty Hearts as Edinburgh Uni took the lead in the 8th minute. Ross Waters put it low past Mackenzie. Just a wee shout out to Ross Waters. He's always impressed me when I've seen Edinburgh Uni. Him and Mark in the middle. Abdel Youssef was playing, but I just don't think he got too much into it. But yeah, certainly he was a standout for Uni getting the goal. But it didn't take Kelty long to sort of get their act together and get back into the game. 4 minutes later, on the 12th minute, Dylan Easton had Kelty back on level terms. And, about 5 minutes later, on the 18th, he got the lead for Kelty. A lot of defenders around him, but he managed to find space and fire into the bottom corner. Half an hour gone. There was a bit of a funny moment in this match, as everyone probably saw. One of the Uni players in a 50-50, I think with Dylan Easton, same guy again, went over the barrier and went head first into one of the nearby bins.
The question I've got is, did the match camera pick it up?
I noticed on the match highlights it wasn't in there, but I don't know if they might be planning on putting it out separately. I'm not 100% sure. I've not asked Mark, but yeah, a very funny moment. Obviously, one of these things that you have in football sometimes. But I don't think the Uni lad, I didn't catch which player it was too chuffed with Dylan Easton there. But anyway, so 2-1 at half time. 52nd minute, great ball in, straight to the head off Nathan Austin to make it 3-1. 67th minute, brilliant play, and it was Nathan Austin again with a side footer in the box to make it 4. 72nd minute, the Uni defender takes too much time with it, and Cammy Russell really just takes over to slot home the 5th. The 76th minute, Nathan Austin again, back post, gets another hat-trick. He's had a few this season already to make it 6. And to round it off for Kelty in the 81st minute, it was a penalty and Scott Linton fired to make it 7-1. Another remarkable win for Kelty Hearts. It's been a while since they've really, scored. Early in the season we were used to them winning by big margins. It had been a while. They've had sort of a tough few fixtures, but they've grinded out results. But this is another statement of intent, I would say, even against an Edinburgh Uni.
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, it shows you the value of their three main men. So you've got Nathan Austin, you've got Dylan Easton, and you've got Scott Linton. In my opinion, when you get the three of them playing, you can beat any team at this level or the level above. But they've not really had a fully fit trio for a wee while, have they? Like, you've had Dylan Easton out with a bit of injury niggles. Nate Austin up front's had a wee niggle here or there. It just shows you how important they are, I think, to Kelty. Obviously, you watch them more than I do, so what do you reckon about that?
To be honest, mate, Dylan Easton, since he's came back from injury, came back for the Shire game. Obviously, I've not seen a lot of Kelty as much because I've obviously been busy, as I've mentioned, but he's been fantastic. Him and the likes of Nathan Austin, they make it look so easy at this level. That's how good they are at in terms of players. Dylan Easton really just ran the show. Nathan Austin, he got a hat-trick, and to be honest, for the largest time, I would say the Uni defender's really done well against him, but he's still got a hat-trick. My English team is Tottenham. Sometimes Harry Kane can be a wee bit like that. He doesn't look like he's going to do anything, and then suddenly he's got 2 or 3 goals.
I can see the headline now, Rampant compares Austin to Harry Kane. I think this is the difference between, normally at this level, these kind of guys would come down past their prime. Like, kind of when they're beginning to wane a wee bit talent-wise. These guys are in their prime, and it makes a massive difference. when they're more experienced at a higher level. They've shown that they can do it, League One level, Championship level. So they're obviously going to be shining lights when they step down to the Lowland League, and so it's proven. In terms of Kelty, I think for them to go and get what they want this year, that trio are so important to keep fit and keep playing, keep in form, because you wouldn't bet against them, against any team, with the three of those guys on song, would you?
No, as I mentioned, it was a bit of a slow start. I think against maybe a Bonnie Rig Rose or a BSC, I don't think they've been behind a lot this season. Had they had a slow start against maybe a tougher opposition, it could have been a different game, but
Yeah.
they just seem to switch on. They're good at that. It's, they might have spells, but Barry's the type of guy that he's relentless. I think he was probably disappointed with the start, but they went out and won 7-1. And a wee shout out just before we move on to Cammy Russell as well, because I don't think he's been as good for Kelty that he was for EK last season. But see, when he comes into a game with confidence, he is a cracking player. I think he just needs that sort of confidence to get him going, and we certainly saw that against Edinburgh Uni yesterday. I think he played well. I think you could tell he really wanted some of the chances, because I think sometimes he does have a tendency to snatch at his shots, but he's been playing well as well.
To be fair, on Cammy's side, it's a different environment from this year that he's gone in with. Nathan Austin's a red hot striker, and he's the main man. So Cammy's having to carve a different niche for himself in this team, but as you mentioned there, I've only heard positive things about him, to be honest.
Just on a side note, I do believe the bin incident was caught, so hopefully Kelty put that out later. So for all of us to see, I've just got a message from Mark.
That brings us into the next game, which was down at the Borders, Berwick Rangers at home to Vale of Leithen. And this was a game where I think we'd given preference to the home side, but not particularly strongly. And it turned out quite comfortable in the end for the wee Rangers. So all started off with a penalty for Berwick. There's penalties all over the shop this weekend. Converted by Ricky Miller after Baldy was brought down in the box, 1-0. And that was the way it went through till half time. Not especially exciting in terms of goalmouth action. Into the second, it was 2 with a great header from Yo at the near post. And, pardon me, it was a set piece after that made it 3. Chalmers tapping in from a corner kick to give them their third goal. And the way it tends to happen with Vale of Leithen, they were a few goals down, and they were then down to 10 men, with Ali Smith getting red carded. Just a wee bit of frustration mixed in with a bad tackle. And in the process of that, it was a tackle in the box. So we had a second penalty, and Miller did the business again. So 4-0, full time. The scoreline doesn't tell the whole story. Berwick, obviously 2 penalties helps inflate the score, but it's a game that Vale will be disappointed, I suggest, to get such a heavy scoreline against them. But we've been waiting for Berwick to string a couple of results together. I think we're now going to see that happen with the games they've got, and they'll be delighted just to finally be moving in the league, because it's been stop start, and they've played less games than most of the teams around them. We'll see if they can kick on now and basically kind of push for a mid-table and then potentially higher finish as well.
Yeah, we could probably call that one the Ali Smith derby. Obviously, both players had an Ali Smith playing for them, with Berwick Rangers' Ali Smith getting the better off Vale of Leithen's Ali Smith in that one.
I should say it was the Vale of Leithen Ali Smith that gets sent off, just to clarify that.
Yeah, it's a fantastic performance from Berwick. Again, I think you're right, Mozza. I think we were expecting Berwick to get the win there, but maybe not by as much. So they've done really well, and it's good to see Kieran Chalmers, a guy I've always rated, back in the team. I think he's been missing. I don't think he's started a lot over the course of the season. Ricky Miller getting the penalties and that is fantastic. And overall a great result. I'm sure the fans will be happy with it. It's much needed, I would say. For Vale of Leithen, it's a tough one between them and Edinburgh Uni. We said we might have to change their opinion given some of the results, the way things have changed over the last 2 weeks. It's kind of looking like same old again, unfortunately for them.
I think the key to success for Vale going forward will be to keep games narrow towards the end, and then they've got a realistic shot at taking points the closer it gets to 90. In a game like this, if you come straight out of the dressing room 1-0 down and concede 2 goals relatively quickly, it's game over. So Ando will know that better than we will. Like, we've seen a proper reaction ever since that Fort William Cup game. The performances on the face have been much improved by them. So it's going to be a very interesting battle at the bottom. Now that things are beginning to kind of crystallise and we're seeing who's going to be involved in the relegation fight.
Moving on to Dalbeattie Star versus Cumbernauld Colts at the Islecroft. It was a good start from Colts. Marty Wright in the 11th minute gave Colts a decent platform for the game to get started. Dalbeattie Star did work themselves back into the game with Dean Brotherston getting the equaliser in the 25th minute. It was 1-1 at half time, fairly deserved, I would say. Both teams really working hard, but straight out the blocks, Colts got another goal. 47th minute played, and Marty Wright gets his second. 55th minute, another Marty Wright goal, and the left foot finish gives him a perfect hat trick. And to round it off, it was another goal for Marty Wright, played in brilliantly by Lewis Bonner to basically get the results for Colts there. 4-1. Marty Wright, we talked about him in the last podcast. I think I actually misspoke a wee bit. What I should have really said is he had to been starting, and I did say, like, I felt that he could have been at the start of the season, given his form, he could have been up there as one of the top scorers. He seems like he's back doing the job. I'm
gutted he's ruined his perfect hat trick by scoring a fourth. Like, but no, I did appreciate the Cumbernauld Colts tweet though when they scored their fourth. It just simply said Dalbeattie 1, Marty Wright 4. Kind of gives you an idea how good he was. But we've talked about him before. In fairness, it's been yourself that called it out first, Chris, that he's a guy that's capable of being one of the best at this level, I think. And Islecroft isn't exactly an easy place to go at the best of times, so for him to get 4 goals there and essentially make a comfortable win for the Colts with the results they've had recently, they will be absolutely delighted with that, because it was a potential banana skin, I think, there. So you can only give them props, and we'll see if Marty keeps the goal scoring form going, because that's the kind of thing that can change a season. And with Colts being a little bit kind of patchy recently, we saw how much Sean Brown made a difference for them last year by putting the ball in the back of the net. No reason Marty can't do the same for them.
Absolutely, mate. And just a wee shout out to Richard Kerwin, who did make the team of the month. He assisted in a few of them goals, and he's been absolutely on fire for Colts, getting the assists from the old right back position. I played him on the centre back because of Dean Brett, but no, he's been fantastic. I think Colts have started picking up results now, and it looks like it's always tough to say, Moza. We'll be saying something different in a week or two, but they're looking good at the moment, at least. It looks like they're back into a bit of form there.
Aye, we're prisoners for recent form, ultimately. I mean, they're sitting right bang in the middle of the table, 9th, level with Kilbride, bear in mind, haven't played a game more. So if they get on a run, there's no reason why they can't push up to, say, top 6. You've got Kilby and Spartans right beside them, but with games in hand. So who knows? We'll see how it plays out. But that leads us in quite nicely to the Kilby game itself. East Kilbride hosting Gretna, 2008. And it ended up being pretty routine for Kilby. Rudy Payton opened the score in early doors, 7 minutes on the clock. And on a half-hour mark, that man Craig Malcolm made it 2. From there, not really much happened, to be honest. So for caretaker boss Jim Patterson, second one in as many games, it's a positive start for him. It'll be interesting to see if he's given it to the end of the season or if Kilby go ahead and make a permanent appointment. And obviously they've got a Scottish Cup trip coming up next weekend to look forward to Formartine. So we'll see how that plays out. On the flip side, Gretna, despite the fact that they've lost there, they've given a decent account of themselves. Chris, there's noticeable differences with Gretna. I haven't seen them recently. Chris will be disappointed that they've came away with nothing again, but if you'd seen them visiting Kilby, a couple of months ago, you might have been scared for them. So I think, on the grand scheme of things, 2-0's not the worst result they could have came away from K Park with. Especially a resurgent Kilby that are trying to bounce back for Stuart Malcolm leaving. The squad will be very keen to impress whoever's coming in and get themselves in that first team squad. So Kilby will be happy enough. Gretna, I've got positive signs. It's just a case of getting the points on the board.
Jim Patterson, obviously, really putting his name in the hat there. I did hear that it would be Ian Durant that was coming in, but it looks like the board are certainly taking their time to assess the situation, see who can really do a job for them. It's looking good for Jim, obviously. Two wins since Stuart Malcolm's left. What were your thoughts on Stuart Malcolm leaving the Forfar?
It was a bit of an eye-opener. We know he's capable, and we know he's a good man-manager, but ultimately Kilby haven't been great this year, by Stuart's own admission at the time. So, obviously he's got a great connection with Forfar. He's a bit of a club legend. And they've based it on his whole body of work with Kilby. Because when you look at last year, he did a cracking job all the way through to the playoff game with Cove. And look at what Cove have done. So it's not like he's been beaten by a subpar team. They're sitting top of League 2 and miles clear. So, yeah, it's a very interesting one. And obviously we wish him the best because he's been nothing but a gentleman to us. Really, really top man. The other thing I'll have my eye on is if he goes back and tries to get any of his old players. That'll be interesting in January. But I think in terms of getting a new gaffer, Kilby are doing exactly the right thing. There's no rush. They're not going to win the league this year. They're not going to be in relegation trouble. They're going to be comfy. So take your time, get it right, give the new man, much like Kelty did with Barry Ferguson last year, give the new man a run of time, let him shape his squad, and then come the start of next season, you're ready to rumble. So the last thing you want to do is make a snap appointment and it be the wrong thing, and suddenly you've set yourself back for the next year and a half. So fair play to the Kilby board, not jumping into anything.
It's a wee bit of a testament to Kilby that the last three managers have went on to league football. I don't know if that's a help or hindrance for them, obviously, but...
Well, they've used it as a kind of bargaining tool, haven't they? When they've talked about it openly in their search for a new manager, they've said, well, look at us, look what we've done for our previous managers. That should be an intriguing job for you. And yeah, it tells its own story, doesn't it? Like, they've clearly got a conveyor belt for ambitious coaches that want to get up to SPFL level there.
Yeah, just to repeat your sentiments, obviously, Stuart Malcolm moving to Forfar, I think it's, as you mentioned, a really good move. Club legend, former club captain. Forfar have looked at what he done last season in the appointment to win the league, albeit they were beaten by Cove. I think there's a tendency in modern football to forget really fast what these guys have achieved. And I think Forfar have done the right thing and said, look, this guy's our man. He has had success, albeit the start of the season has not been great for Kilby.
Yeah, he also knows the club back to front, which helps. He's not going into a foreign situation. He knows exactly what Forfar's all about. So, from that side of things, you can get a better guy. It's also quite refreshing to see teams at higher level willing to look down to the lower reaches. I say that with all due respect to the level we're at. We are non-league. Even 5 years ago, could you imagine... Like it might have happened in a very rare occasion, for example, Robbie Horn going up to Berwick when they were League 2, but it was just so unusual for guys, it's for example East of Scotland level, to get a shot up at the SPFL. So it goes to the reputation of the league and the level of football we're at as well, that there's a lot more respect there. And it's not just the players that are getting a chance to move up now, it's the gaffers as well.
It's similar with a few of the guys that were on loan at BSC last season from the SPFL teams, because they're now at League One teams, so it says a lot about the level in terms of even just on the pitch playing.
Absolutely. St Johnstone have been absolutely delighted with the way that we've worked together. Obviously their boys are now, with the experience they've got under their belt, as you've mentioned, they're killing it at League One level. So it shows you the benefits for the big sides of sending a young talent on loan. It's not like the old non-league football where it was just kick and rush physical football. You get some really good football played at our level. And it's a testament to the coaches that are working. You've got Swifty at BSC, you've got Barry at Kelty, Bonnyrigg play some nice stuff. Albeit you're obviously going to have more direct teams if that's what suits them, but it's just not, it's not all about physicality, is what I'm trying to say. And these guys are showing it, not just the BSC boys. Like, you've got the the contingent for Stirling Uni that have moved up that are doing great as well. So there's good news stories all over the place.
Moving on to Cali Braves versus Gallifrey Rovers, there is nothing to report. It was a 0-0 at Alliance Park. Very, very surprising result. I wonder what the odds would have been on a 0-0 result. To me, it's just typical that Braves, they reach out. They've done a fantastic job of reaching out to like some Motherwell fans and Hamilton Accies fans to come and see their team, and they don't get any goals. It's a 0-0. It's just so typical, isn't it?
Having said that, I've seen a couple of the reports for the boys. Donald McCrory being one of them, and it seems as if it was a pretty entertaining contest, even without any goals. So it's not been a total snooze fest, which is good news, given that obviously they'd got a few fans in. We'll call them neutrals, but that initiative, I said it on Twitter earlier in the week, can't praise Braves enough for that. And the clubs that got involved, you had Hamilton, you get Motherwell involved as well. So full marks, because that's the way that all clubs at our level should be trying to do things. All about community focus and all about working together with the bigger sides when an opportunity like that comes up, because let's be honest, who was really excited to watch Scotland and Cyprus? So I'd have much rather gone to see Cali Braves Gala.
Yeah, moving on to our Sunday game. Obviously, we're recording on Sunday, so we're going to have to leave it to David Chandler and Chris Geddes. Really, sorry, East Ullinshire fans. We might be a wee bit biased in the coverage of the fact that University of Stirling will be covering it for you.
Well, let's have a wee bit of fun. Make a prediction.
I think it'll be close, but I think Shire will win. I think they'll win 3-1.
Right, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Oh, interesting.
Stirling Uni have been great this year in these kind of games. Like, even if they've lost them narrowly, they've been really impressive. So I quite fancy Chris and the boys to nick something there. We'll see though, because Shire's been very impressive recently.
I still think Shire are. We talk about the top three: Bonnyrigg, Kelty, BSC. I reckon Shire are still in there marginally. I think they're a wee bit behind the others considering their results against them. I still think they're going to be up there towards the end of the season. I still think they'll be in a fight, but they have to win games like this, and I think they'll win today.
This is a kind of game that if they don't win it, they're done in terms of winning the league. If they get on a winning run, then they can absolutely be in the conversation. You look at the table just now, they're sitting, 28 points, so they're only 6 points off a Rose, 8 points off a Kelty. It's unlikely, but you could see Kelty dropping 3 games. So you can't count Shire out, but they cannot afford to drop anything from this point onwards.
Well, Chris, a disappointing defeat here at Forth Bank, but some positives to take from the game?
Yep. I think we more than matched a team who are up the top of the league challenging, who have obviously spent a lot of money and brought in a lot of quality lower league and good league players. So disappointing to lose, but we've seen a lot of positives.
First half there weren't really a lot of chances, but Shire got their noses in front.
Yeah, just route one. Goalie done a free kick from his 18-yard box into the box. We didn't clear our lines properly, and Sean Brown played really well in the second half, especially today. He scored. He's a good striker. And then we had a good move just before half time. JJ whipped a good ball in, and it's caused a bit of chaos in there, and I think it's came off one of their players and went in. So I think deservedly so. I think balance of possession, we had the most in the first half. So to go in at 1-1, we were happy with that.
The game got a little bit tetchy at times. Was there any sort of bad blood between the two teams?
No bad blood between the dugouts. I get on well with their coaching staff. They're good guys, and I think it's their fans, I think, that bring a bit of, let's just say, their fans like to shout. Let's just say that, and I think it filters down onto the pitch. We started the second half slow, and the Shire scored a goal after that. I'm not going to comment on the goals until I see the clips, because the boys in there are saying it was offside at the back post, so I'll wait until I see the video first before I make any comments on it. But disappointing from another set play to lose the second one. Again,
the second half, Shire had quite a few chances, but you had a good spell towards the end, and there were 2 great saves from the Shire keeper.
No, they created a few chances midway through the half, and the players who were on the ball would have been expected to put them away, but thankfully we've seen it out. And then at the end, the last 5-6 minutes, we had a couple of chances. Craig hit a really good strike, Jamie Bartley in the goal made a great save, and then the last one in the last minute, Kieran struck it perfect, and he's pulled it from the top bag. So he proved his worth there, because he's a very good goalkeeper. So on another day it could have been different, but like I say, we've had the last 5-6 weeks, we've been on a tough run. We've played Kelty twice, Bonnyrigg twice, BSC, East Kilbride, East Stirling today. I'm not sure any of the teams in the league have had that type of run, so we've got a big 6 weeks coming up, plus uni games where we play a lot of the teams around us, so that's where I'll judge my players.
Chris, thanks very much.
Perfect, thanks David.
Moving on to Saturday in the league fixtures, Civil Service Strollers, the kick-off is at 2 o'clock. So Civil Service Strollers versus Dalbeattie Star at Christy Gillis. I'm going to say that Strollers will get back to winning ways on that one.
You've got to have Strollers as the favourites at home. You could make a case for Dalbeattie getting something there, but no, I quite fancy Strollers to bounce back, especially after quite a heavy defeat.
Vale of Leven versus Spartans, also a 2 o'clock kick-off at Victoria Park. You know my policy on Spartans. I'll let you put a prediction for that one, Mozza.
Oh God, this is such a hard one to predict. I'll go for Spartans, not with much confidence, because Vale just haven't done enough for me to be confident in them grabbing something there yet. I wouldn't be ultimately surprised if they got a draw, but with Spartans being the way they are and the squad they've got, you'd be disappointed not to get a win as a Spartans fan, I'd suggest.
Cumbernauld Colts versus Caledonian Braves. This is looking like a really interesting one for myself. I think potential game of the week. It's certainly a hard one to predict. At Broadwood Stadium, Colts seem to be on the up. Cali Braves are there and thereabouts. It's a tough one to call. Wider pitch at Broadwood. I'm going to go with Colts. I just fancy them to nick it, but I think it's going to be close. We'll maybe get a 4-3 or a 1-0 or something, depending on which of the players decide to turn up. But I think Colts are on the rise a wee bit. Cali Braves, we know they've got goals in them, so to me it's how their defence does. And on the wider pitch, I think they might struggle a wee bit against the Colts.
Marty Wright 4, Ross McNeil 3 in that one, I think. No, I think it could go anyway, and I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if either side won it. So if there was such a thing as a bet over a couple of goals in our level, I think my bookie might take a bit of hammering for that one.
East Stirlingshire versus Berwick Rangers, another I think we're probably going to have to put a poll out to decide our game of the week this week, I think.
Yeah, I think that way.
Another interesting one at Falkirk Stadium. I think it's harder for Berwick because obviously they're travelling up to Kelty on Tuesday. It depends what team they're going to bring. I've noticed with Berwick, Daryl Healy's not been playing. There is rumours about his sort of future. East Stirlingshire, they've got so many. I mean, Andy Rodgers, I don't know if you noticed his goal against BSC reserves. I mean, they've got a lot of the guys firing, obviously Sean Brown, Matty Flynn, Jamie Dishington. So I think Shire are more likely there, I would say.
What Shire have been doing recently is very interesting, because their reserve team's basically been their first team. And it's when we were saying earlier in the season about they needed to start gelling and kind of guys finding each other, they've been using the reserve team to help with that. So it hadn't really properly occurred to me until I'd seen the first time that BSC reserves played against them. It's probably quite an interesting kind of tactic, given that there's less games at this level generally. So I fancy them to beat Berwick in that one, just purely based on recent form, and they need to. It's simple as that. If they don't do it, you can say goodbye to the league, you know.
It's a wee bit of an advantage for Shire to take the initiative this week, having given the fact that Kelty won't be playing, Bonnyrigg and BSC will be in the Scottish Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. It's their chance to get up to third in the table, albeit with a couple of games extra played.
Moving on to our final Lowland League fixture, it's Gretna 2008 versus University of Stirling. Another interesting one. It's just looking at the league, I think Gretna will fancy it, but University of Stirling they're not mugs. Especially away from home. I think that's going to be a draw. I don't tend to go with draws because it's a wee bit of a cop out, but I think both teams kind of need the points a wee bit. University of Stirling have had a tough run of fixtures lately. Gretna recently got a win in that, so yeah, I'll put it down as a draw for me.
I'm going to go further than that. Rather than just saying they're no mugs, I actually think they're a very decent outfit this year. Stirling United have flown under the radar for it. I know we've been good to kind of call out and praise Chris and the boys, but I quite fancy them to go down to Gretna and get a win there, in all honesty.
Moving on to the Scottish Cup, we'll start with East Fife versus BSC Glasgow at Bayview. I think it's going to be tough for BSC Glasgow. but they have been playing really well. They have been quite impressive, but I still think East Fife might just be too strong for them. I don't know, what are your opinions, Muzzy? You know, you've seen BSC probably, more than me, so do you think they have a chance at that one?
It's the old kind of any given Saturday type thing, isn't it? Like, East Fife have only just lost their first game of the season. So let's put this in context, the level they're at, right? When the cup draw was made, I was gutted when they came out because they're a really strong, really decent outfit. And I either wanted someone that I quite fancies as getting past or one of the kind of big names. So it was in the middle of, yeah, we're probably not going to have much of a chance in this one, but at least we're getting you away day for it. No, I'm looking forward to it because it's not really so much in the result because nobody's expecting us to go there and get through. It's more, it'll be a good yardstick of where we are in our general level. Swifty, again, has improved the squad this year. I think anyone that's seen us this year will tell you we're a better side than we were last time. And that's essential at this level. You need year-on-year improvement. What we don't really know is relative to the higher levels where we are. So this will be a good yardstick of it. And to be fair, you've looked at the previous round of the Cup, you had the likes of Broxburn and Pennicook getting great results against league teams, so why not us? Like, there's always a chance. We've got goals in the team as well, and a really solid defence, so we've got the key components of it. Let's see what happens.
Highland versus Lowland for Martin, United versus East Kilbride at North Lodge Park. EK making the trip up. I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be another tough one. East Kilbride, Jim Patterson, he's obviously wanting the job. I think if he can secure that result, a lot of the boys with Sean Winter, I think, that said, we're concentrating on the cup now. We're hoping to get a run, considering how the leagues went this season. Maybe they have a wee bit more momentum than for Martin, considering that'll be their focus. But I think it's still going to be a tough game. But I'll give it to EK on this occasion.
It's going to be tough. It's not an easy place to go, North Lodge Park. It's a beautiful bit of the world if you're going up, by the way, anyone that's a Kilby fan. It does kind of feel like it's in the middle of nowhere, though. It's a great wee facility. Cracking natural pitch, so you'll recognise it. It's very similar to K Park. But yeah, I quite fancy Kilby to go up and get the win there. Or at the very least get the replay and do the job at home. So what you just mentioned there will be key. The focus for Kilby is the cup now, and if they get past that, it's a very winnable tie. Who knows who they could get in the next round, because that's where everyone gets thrown in. So if they draw another like Celtic type game again, suddenly the coffers are full and suddenly they're pushing for the league again next year. So it makes sense for that to be their focus now.
Bonnyrigg Rose versus Montrose to round it off at New Dundas Park. Tough one. Obviously, I kind of know a wee bit about Montrose, given the fact that, like Blair Lyons, obviously former uni player, plays for them, so I do keep an eye out for them a wee bit. I still think it's going to be tough for Bonnyrigg, but given the fact they've been playing so well, Robbie's really got the boys playing fantastically well there. They're still in the hunt for the league. I think it'll be close. I think we might even have a replay.
I don't know. I quite fancy Bonnyrigg to do something there, given it's a New Dundas. The advantage they've got with Robbie is there's a guy that's got very recent SPFL experience and knows these kind of teams, the likes of Montrose. So they're not going into kind of... It's not a shot in the dark for them. They know roughly what to expect. If it was an away game, I'd fancy Montrose to do the business, I think. But I would never bet against Bonnyrigg at home in that kind of game. They'll give them a right good go. You can be guaranteed of that much. So who knows? Fingers crossed for Rose. They can do the league proud and pull off another shock.
To plug, I'll let you go first as always, Derek.
Yeah, as usual, at Moza Plays on Twitter and everywhere else. How about yourself?
At Rampant FM on Twitter. You can get the Catchup at Lowland League Catchup on Facebook, and the Catchup on Twitter at Official Catchup, which you will hopefully see one of the Edinburgh Uni players go into the bin. But we'll wait and see. Obviously, thanks for the support. It's been fantastic. I appreciate all the everyone that listens, the players, the gaffers, the clubs that get involved. As I said, the episodes might be a wee bit more sporadic, but I think people can appreciate that. Everyone's going to be busy. Thanks to the league, people like George Fraser for the support, and we'll hopefully see you next week. If not, it'll be a couple of weeks leading into the festive period. See you later.
See you later.